All right. Hello, Peter. Good to see you. And thanks for agreeing to talk a little bit. For those watching, Peter has helped me tremendously over several years on things like my website and trying to come to grips with various technology products that I'm using, whether it's software or recording technology, whatnot. And he's helped fill in the gaps. So I work with him every couple weeks. We spend a little time working on my site or videos or various projects that I'm working on. And we just thought while I'm doing interviews with folks, it might be great to share a little bit about Peter's perspective because he's got some great perspectives for overwhelmed entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and business people who are trying to find their way in the sea of technology. So, Peter, maybe tell people a little bit about what is it that you do? What do you specialize in?
You summed it up pretty well. I'm helping solo entrepreneurs and mainly service providers like coaches, teachers, healers, therapists. And within them, I niche down to overwhelmed solo entrepreneurs. I figured that some groups of solo entrepreneurs get even more easily frustrated with the tech side of their business.
Right.
And I started this out as a purely tech thing, but then I had to realize that our tech is a bit more than what we usually think of it. Like video content creation is connected to tech, but even just simple blogging is connected to tech. And what I realized is most of our tech challenges tie back down to business model challenges and issues.
Mhm.
So now I'm trying to combine all of those under these words.
My experience with you is you help people, they contact you, and you get on a call, and in real time, you sort out what's going on. It's not tech support, it's kind of almost more like mentorship, and also you can do done for you type projects, but I feel like with me, we were talking before the call, it's not that I'm so overwhelmed, but I get frustrated with technology, and I think we share a perspective here of, like, one of the problems is, like, let's say I use Squarespace, and I'm happy and sad about it, but it's like what I'll go to use to do something, and they've changed the location, or they've changed a feature, and this is not just Squarespace that does this. Most software and technology companies, they modify their products, they upgrade them, and their business goals are to gain new customers, primarily, and, of course, they wanna keep the old customers happy, but sometimes it's frustrating because you can't find the things you used to know how to do, or they're so complex, we can't remember from the last time we edited. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on technology? Should entrepreneurs get the latest, greatest technology, which
The,
we
sh-
all want?
the short answer is no.
Yeah,
It
right.
should not, because there is a great distinction here.
Mhm.
When we start our businesses, naturally we go online and Google
Right,
um, best tools for websites and email newsletters and everything. And
right,
the results that show up are the best results for small businesses. And usually, no company makes the distinction between a true solo operation and a small business.
right.
That's a huge problem.
Mm,
And so we keep trying and trying and trying. And as you said, these platforms. That is in itself a challenge already to learn these, because these were designed to be used by IT departments, marketing departments, um, content specialists, etc. And
Yes,
when
this is maybe up to 50 people or maybe even 100 people or more even, could be a small business,
Mhm.
right? Yeah,
And when a sales page says it's the easiest out there, that means it's easier for a person who is using it 8 hours a day.
right, right.
Not for so anyway, and then we that's the first challenge. And then once you already learn how to use the platform, then the second challenge is introduced that you talked about, is that these keep changing,
Mhm,
because now we live in an era of this model is called software as a service.
right,
Back even 10 years ago, there was so much more software that you could just purchase for one off price and run it on your own computer,
right.
and it would not change. it
Hmm.
would be the same each day you open it.
Right.
But now you actually don't own this software as you used to.
Mhm.
You're just paying for it as a service, as
Right.
the name implies as well. So you don't own it. They can do whatever they want with it, and their goal is to make it better and better and better.
Yeah.
But what they don't realize, for us solo entrepreneurs, the better would mean that the thing that we are used to.
Yeah.
So our goals sort of clash at
Right.
this point, because our goal would be keep it the same. Please keep it the same. I love it. I use it. I learned it. I don't want to relearn it.
Right.
And then that's not their goal, because they're a service providing company and they want to feature
Yeah.
new features on their sales page to get more new customers. And the
So,
next funny thing is you're paying for features that you don't need, and you're
right.
paying for the development features that you don't need. So it's
Yeah. It's funny because, my background is working in software companies, and I saw it from the other side too, where one of the problems is software companies constantly have to update and patch and fix their product because of things like Apple or Chrome or Windows or whatever operating system they're relying on will update, and then they have to fix that. So you need to pay developers to do that work. But then, like you said, then it's like the new features also are part of that because they need to sell a product and. So what do you recommend? So like what do we do with this quandary that technology is eating itself sort of or constantly upgrading and changing before our eyes, and we're trying to navigate as solopreneurs, or I'm a one man band over here doing my coaching and group coaching and writing songs and doing all the things I do, and it's like I don't want to manage 5 Instagram pages and whatever Squarespace, how many blog posts, and then I do a Substack, and it's like there's so many things already. What do we do? What do you recommend?
um, it's a tricky question because it's complex.
Mhm.
On one hand, if you don't hear this advice at the beginning of your business, and most probably you won't, then you are already used to using a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, my recommendation is to relearn. Like, you've been using, extreme example, you've been using MailChimp. I would not recommend it for solo entrepreneurs. It's designed for marketing departments.
Right.
But you've been using it and you learn how to use it.
Right.
And years later, it's probably easier to stick with it, even if it's frustrating,
Mhm.
because then you would have to relearn something else.
Mhm.
This is one consideration. But
Yeah.
sometimes sticking with what you already know is the second one. You have to think about whether you would like to manage other people,
Mhm.
because the other solution is to keep using these, but to delegate the stuff.
Right.
This is certainly for some people, they love doing it, and
Yeah.
certainly not for other people. Like, I don't enjoy managing people, so I don't do that. And so here's the third point of view, is to, if you don't want to do the first two, then you have to simplify, simplify, simplify. And this is where what I mentioned comes in, is sometimes it means simplifying your business model.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
if you want to run courses, do one-on-ones, do group programs, do retreats, be online on social media, you have to manage that and market that, and that's a
Right.
lot.
Yeah. It's true.
Sometimes it's actually a business model question too. Okay, I would just do one-on-ones and 2 courses a year, and that's it, or something like that. Maybe that's too
Mhm.
extremist, but
Yeah, that's great. That's a great point, is simplifying is often the harder move. I'm working on a blog post. It'll be out soon on subtraction. And it's also like when you're writing music, or for me at least, I'll tend to like have too many words and then realize, oh no, I don't need all, or I have too many sections in the song. And subtraction's a huge part of creativity. It's also a huge part of uh, efficiency gains, but it can be very hard to decide on what you let go and what you keep. So that's great advice. Good. Well, we're going to keep this short today because I know it's evening. You are, but how do folks reach out to you and learn about your services or get you to help them simplify or help them understand the technology they have, et cetera?
Go to my website, which is petervarnai.com.
Okay.
Maybe we can have the spelling down below the video, and there you can find me and reach out to me and read a bit more about my services. You can find links to my content there. So that's the main hub where
You have a
go.
YouTube channel as well, and I'll put a link to that. You're doing lots of
That's
great content on this very topic. And one of the reasons I wanted to feature you here is just to say, you know, it's needed that we have these conversations because I don't see a lot of this. I see a lot of what's the best way to do this and what's the newest way to do that. And now we have AI to help us, but also give us brand ideas about how amazing we should be with our technology stack. And sometimes that's the wrong direction for our business or for our lives, frankly, you know, like how much
and
screen time do we need, you know?
and I think that's the core thing there. Then fiddling with these, trying new stuff that people and YouTube recommended, it feels productive, but actually it's wasting a lot of time, gaining a lot of frustration, and then saying like, "Oh, I'm so frustrated. I can't do this. Can't do my actual work today because of that." And then you will start earning money to pay for these platforms and free up your time to manage and maintain these platforms, and so that's
Right.
usually not what we want.
Yeah, like I think we're aligned in that I have humble goals for my YouTube channel. I'm not trying to be a clickbait champion with 1 million subscribers. It's like I feel like if I can reach 100 people, and I already have 100 subscribers, but if I can just, you know, every time I do a video, I get 100 or so people that are in my uh, world that care about what I do, I'm happy. But for me, video is just an efficient way to share thoughts and ideas because a lot of times I think I blog about them and people don't read them. But I think you have to be clear about what are the goals with what you're doing. And, you know, are you trying to reach 1 million people? Well, then I guess you have to talk about clickbaity things, you know, and we don't need more. So don't do that if you're watching. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you go run. And thanks again for all your help for me. And I hope this video is helpful to others and to you. And we'll talk again soon.